One of the most visual members of the team that John Adshead is involved with is KZ7 bowman Erle Williams. He's the one you'll have often seen right up at the front of the yacht. Erle Williams is a particularly talented young yachtsman who, at the age of just 22, had been appointed a watch captain for the Round the World race. He has a crucial role before the 12-metre races even start.
There's a lot of pressure there because, you know, sometimes you're coming at a line and there's nowhere else you can go, and you've just got to judge it and say, well, yes, we're going to make it. And you've got to be firm in your judgment and turn around to Chris and say, you're OK. Go for it, you know. And we've practiced it, done a lot of practice at shooting lines, coming up to lines and judging. And if you've done your training, you've done your practice, and it sort of comes natural. The bottom mark roundings is something that I think, you know, the only way you get good at it is by doing it time and time again. And we've done it right through the winter. We've been just dropping so many times, and we do it to the clock. Everything's to the clock. You come into the bottom mark and you get the decision what sort of drop it's going to be. It can be coming into bottom mark. You can do if you're on the poor starboard tack, you can do an early drop. You can do a float drop. We can do a Kiwi drop. And coming on the other on say port tack, you can do well, basically it's just, you can do an early drop, which is you'd only do in a breeze, which is where you spike off.
Well, tell us about that, though. You spike off, you go out the guy and swing off the boom, spinnaker pole. That's pretty precarious stuff for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's...
How do you do that? I mean, you've got to pull yourself up, or...?
Yeah, you just pull yourself up by hand. A lot of the guys, a lot of the other boats, they go up on halyards so that they're secured to the boat all the time. But, you know, we're trained, we do a lot of climbing in our training, and clipping halyards on and off is time-consuming, so we've trained not to do that. We just climb up freehand and do the spiking.
Some people say that you've got to be very strong up on the bow. Why do you have to be strong?
Well, the 12-metre is a very powerful boat, and you know, and say 20 knots and above, or say 18 knots and above, you spend most of the day as a bowman. You spend most of the day fighting water, you know, coming at you, going under waves, and when you're downwind, you're nose diving. You've always got this. We've constantly got the flow of water coming down the deck, which, you know, when it gets into the sails is quite a handful. So you don't have a lot of time to do your job, and when you're doing your job, it's hard work. So, you know, your fitness is very important. And I can remember the first day I started working on the bow. I was working in the back of the boat when I first got here, and I moved onto the bow. And the first day I went out, we went through one of our set training procedures, and I was by the end of the day I was absolutely stuffed. But you know, it is a very demanding job. Basically, you've got to throw a boat around a track like we're throwing them around here. You've got to have experience to know what's going to happen, what can break, how to fix things when they break. You know, the only way you learn that sort of thing is from experience on the water. So you're putting emphasis as #1 on seamanship, are you? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's, you know, we've turned out the hottest crew work in the whole campaign, and it's not unlike New Zealand crews to have this ability on a track. You know, we do our homework. We do a lot of hours on the water at home. We go to, most of the guys here have been, they sail all year round. They go to all the contests, and, you know, time on water pays off in the end. Well, America's Cup racing resumes out on Gage Roads this afternoon. New Zealand against a tough one today. White Crusader for Britain, who are absolutely desperate for those 12 points. We'll have a report on 2 at 10:45 tonight. From Fremantle, goodbye.